this methodology truly speaks to one of my biggest missions, which is to utilize my wisdom, my knowledge, and my perspectives as a way to elevate the recognition and credibility of other conscious voices and leaders who inspire transformation by sharing their stories and methodologies. Welcome to the Conscious Publicist Podcast, a space where thoughts become ideas to advocate for a more conscious human experience in the media. Our thoughts and ideas inspire action, and the most notable leaders and organizations have transformed thoughts and ideas into global initiatives that have impacted the lives of millions. My name is Ashley Graham, and as a woman-owned business founder and publicist, I guide leaders, visionaries, and creators in discovering their conscious media voice and methodologies that inspire connection, community, and impact through aligned media channels. In this podcast, we'll dive into public relations, thought leadership, business, and entrepreneurship, all through the lens of being a conscious human being. I'll take you behind the scenes into the habits, thoughts, and modalities that have helped leaders shift past paradigms of limiting beliefs, comparison, and self-doubt to show up for themselves to become the subject matter experts they were called to be. Subscribe to the show on Apple or Spotify and join us on this journey of awakening the conscious, enlightened leader within you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Conscious Publicist Podcast. As you know, this is a space where we explore the intersection of public relations, personal development, and social impact. And in today's episode, we're going to dive into how to use PR as an activation for personal and business transformation. Industry leaders, visionaries, as well as organizations all owe their success to a simple idea sparked by one thought that projected an entirely new path to embark on. Then, those same thoughts introduce them to a vortex of experiences they've encountered that influence how they show up for themselves on this path, as well as how they influence the people they inspire. This is where, if you listen to the episodes prior, where we really truly express how powerful our stories and messages are formed to foster rich, meaningful connections to others, whether through our teams or our audiences. And before we lead into the main impact and personal reflection of the episode, I want to start off by stating a popular saying that holds so much truth, which is, you must practice what you preach. As a practitioner and a specialist in my space and a leader, I have always been passionate about assisting my clients in discovering their unique PR proposition and how to position that message through the media. However, as I was visualizing the brand for the Conscious Publicist, I kept turning that methodology over to myself and kept asking myself what my unique PR proposition was and how that would impact the brand's overall success. It's often difficult for leaders to do for themselves what they do for others, but I really truly challenged myself to go deeper into my hidden methodologies and what has kept me expanding all of these years. This is where, through this experience, I discovered our mission statement, as well as a beautiful, beautiful methodology that I think is really going to catapult the Conscious Publicist forward, as well as who we bring along on that journey through partnership. And our mission statement is, we help conscious media archetypes go from ideation to transformation through public relations, communications, and media activations. As I have been a content producing machine lately, in a recent blog post, I discussed how PR can be used as a tool for personal and business transformation, especially through this signature methodology. So in this episode, I would like to guide you through our newly enhanced signature methodology and how working with our methodology can truly support you in using PR to achieve your personal and business growth. When most people think of PR, they think of getting media coverage or managing a crisis communication situation. But in my perspective, PR is so much more than that. At its core, PR is about telling stories and shaping perceptions. And when we start to see it in that light, we can see how it can be used as a powerful tool for personal as well as business transformation. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say someone has the goal of becoming a public speaker. They may have all the knowledge and expertise in the world, but if they don't know how to tell their story and shape their perception, they'll never be able to achieve that goal. By learning the basics of PR, such as crafting a compelling media release or crafting and pitching a story, they can see themselves as credible experts and move confidently in building their own personal brand. Now, when we think of social impact and advocacy work, PR can also play a vital role for individuals who have a strong awareness of social issues and want to make a difference. PR provides a platform for those people who care about certain areas of change to effectively communicate their message and bring attention to the causes they support. By learning how to craft compelling stories and shape their perception, individuals can become thought leaders and advocates for their chosen causes, amplifying their impact and inspiring others to join them. PR can also help bridge the gap between the private and public sectors and create meaningful conversations between stakeholders, leading to real change and progress. In this way, PR is a powerful tool for personal and business transformation, creating a positive social impact ecosystem and making the world a truly better place. Now, how might a business use PR as a tool for transformation? Question mark. Additionally, PR can provide a platform for the business to communicate its values, its mission, and commitments, helping it attract top talent and establish a reputation as a responsible and sustainable organization. In this manner, PR plays a crucial role in supporting businesses in their transformation journeys, allowing them to achieve their goals and compete in today's ever-evolving marketplace. This is why I believe PR is a powerful personal and business transformation tool. It allows us to take control of our narrative and shape our perceptions. And when we do that, we open ourselves to all possibilities and opportunities that may not have been there before. So, the premise of this episode is to talk about ideation to transformation, which is our signature methodology of using PR as an activation tool for both personal and business growth. We're going to go ahead and start the workshop portion of this episode, which is walking you through our transformation process with a capital PR. It's a methodology that is our very unique approach to PR that has helped our organization bring our ideas to life through the media, but of course, a methodology that has helped our clients bring their stories, their messages, and their models and methodologies to life in the media, ultimately creating an incredible growth platform, both for personal experiences as well as professional. So starting off with our methodology is now coined ideation to transformation. And I'll walk you through essentially where this term came from. So ideation is the definition of taking an idea from a thought to a full energetic creation. While on the other hand, transformation is the result of that creation, impacting the leader, individual, or organization and those they work with, whether internally or externally. We're going to go ahead and walk you through our transformation process, or our methodology, ideation to transformation through PR, which has truly become a proven methodology that bridges the gap between industry leaders, visionaries, and organizations, connecting them to their inner PR proposition and their ideal clients and audiences that they ultimately want to serve and impact long term. Diving into the methodology, I'm going to use the individual who has aspirations to become a public speaker as the example. Following the methodology is the phase 1. This is our ideation phase. This is where a person who has aspirations of becoming a public speaker can focus on developing and conveying their prescriptive stories, ideas, and thoughts that ultimately will be crafted into their signature message and expertise. If we were going to work with this individual, this is where we would focus on creating a collaborative and free thinking environment where they can expand on their ideas, their stories, and aspirations of advocacy work through their public speaking to turn that into their impactful message that ultimately will attract the public recognition. As for phase two, this is where we would move into a creation phase. And within the creation phase, this is where that public speaker would curate their prescriptive stories, ideas, and thoughts into their media proposition. This is where that public speaker or their representation would focus on speaker highlights, their angles, their pitches, writing subject matter experts from their expertise, doing media releases, or creating any additional assets or content that will ultimately bring that aspirational speaker's ideas to life, showcasing their methodology and impact and what they hope to achieve by making a connection with their ideal audience or client. Moving into phase three, this is the implementation phase. This is where that public speaker or their representation would focus on all outgoing media relations support, which is through pitching or outreach or filling out speaker applications, making media and referral introductions, and then actually booking opportunities amongst any other activities that are involved with that process. Last but not least is phase four. This is the transformation phase. There's two phases of the transformation phase that I want to highlight here. From the masculine sense, the transformation phase is where that public speaker or their representation would focus on tracing and measuring the success of the transformation process, whether that's through how many speaking gigs were booked, any additional media placements, introductions, responses, mentions, or coverage that was placed. But on the feminine side of the transformation process, this is where that public speaker ultimately gains the confidence, the awareness, the space to accept that they do have a strong proof of concept and are now on a path of gaining visibility, reach, and reclaiming their subject matter expertise and credibility, which ultimately is going to keep them attracting future opportunities, as well as creating impactful change in those that they inspire through tapping into their conscious voice. Now I'll shift gears and talk about the ideation to transformation phases in the business sense. This is where within the ideation phase, a business can come together to work on their internal owned content, whether that's their mission, their vision, their stories, their articles, as well as their content that ultimately speaks to their mission and their impact as an organization. Within the creation phase, this is where they would create the assets needed to convey those prescriptive stories, those pieces of content, their mission, their vision, and ultimately distribute that through assets that portray all of the necessary information that the audience or the media will need to know based off of their story. Within the implementation phase, this is where, again, they would focus on anything that is ongoing media relations support, whether that is focusing on media outreach, distributing press releases, or other forms of PR and media, which is events or hosting charitable initiatives. Those all speak to the PR space as well and speak to that personal and business growth because it ultimately keeps the organization moving forward and hopes to continue to inspire and impact those that are either in partnership with them or those that seek inspiration from them as a leading organization. And then last in the transformation phase, this is where a business can ultimately hone in on the longevity of their efforts, whether that is number of donations that was made through a charitable campaign, how many times they showed up in the media, if they are a trending organization based off of one of their mission statements, or having a subject matter leader within the organization that spoke publicly about what they're doing as an organization. This is where the business can ultimately track the success of those initiatives and how to then apply those to future proof of concept messages and efforts in the future. Before I begin wrapping this episode up, I just wanted to highlight a few things that were mentioned in this episode that really speak true to the power of PR. PR is truly an activation for both personal and business growth and transformation because it ultimately creates an ecosystem that keeps you catapulting forward. PR is an incredible way to bring an individual, a creator, or an artist the confidence that they need in order to advocate behind themselves as well as their creative endeavors. But it also provides businesses with the confidence and the abilities to reclaim their mission and vision as an organization that ultimately gives them the stability and the security to keep their business moving forward. As an entrepreneur, as a woman in business, as all of the different roles that I've played in my life, my journey to this intersection and this methodology has been incredibly fulfilling. And I've been able to apply this methodology unconsciously as well as consciously in so many different areas of my life, which ultimately has led me to this medium in which we're connecting through today. This methodology has been so impactful for myself as a leader, and I'm hoping that it's going to be as impactful for others who are on a very similar path. And this methodology truly speaks to one of my biggest missions, which is to utilize my wisdom, my knowledge, and my perspectives as a way to elevate the recognition and credibility of other conscious voices and leaders who inspire transformation by sharing their stories and methodologies with the public. If you are more of a visual learner, you can head over to theconsciouspublicist.com to our exclusives page, and you'll notice our article, Our Methodology, Ideation to Transformation, which you'll be able to find a recap of this methodology, and you will also find a recap of the methodology in the show notes. I want to express an immense amount of gratitude that you're here with me today, and I look forward to continuing to impact your thought leadership journey in the episodes to come.